Today on the Solo to Entrepreneur Show, we're diving into the conversation at the intersection of heart, leadership, and high performance with a guest who's not just changing lives, but transforming an entire section. So I have a fellow friend of mine, Greg Hart, who is originally from Australia, who is also the director of Your Heart to Heart, a nationally and globally recognized award-winning disability service organization. So under his leadership, this company has redefined what it means to deliver premium person-centered support, and it's getting noticed. What I mean by getting noticed is he was honored with a global award for therapy, respite, and community supports, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
with the business and what he has done as a gold standard in the industry. As a certified B Corp and social enterprise, the organization integrates allied health alongside disability support to deliver a holistic, scalable model that creates real impact. So, welcome, Greg, and thank you for coming up.
Thanks, Lorraine. Lovely to be on your show.
Now, I gotta point this out though to everyone out there because everyone keeps having excuses out there. Greg currently is in Australia and at the moment I'm in the US. Tell us what time is it there for you?
It's about 20 past 5 in the morning.
Five and wanting people. So let's get down to business here. Now, with what you do with disability, I'm sure there is a backstory to this, and I'd like to know, or we would like to know, like how did you come across in doing the disability field in Australia?
Long story. So my wife Kerry has been in the industry now for about 35 years in the community space, children, disability, all sorts of things to do with community services. So she's been in there for that long. In Australia, there was a government reform for people with disability called the National Disability Insurance Scheme. So it opened up a trial site back in 2013. At that very moment, Kerry was like, "Oh, I'm really, really passionate about disability. I want to actually be in the forefront and actually work for these people at the very, very beginning." So she was very successful and got a leadership role there at the end, the National Disability Insurance Agency in 2013. She was in the trial site Newcastle in Australia. And I've seen what she's done, and seen these service providers or what money they make. And I was like, I was a public servant at the time and did a lot of accountancy type roles, in my career to that point. And I'm like, I think we can do a business together here. Because at the time, for me as a public servant, I couldn't see too much of where life was heading. It's like you're walking every morning to a building, all the same people every single day,
Yes,
and you're doing the same thing every single day. It's like, what's the life of doing what you somewhat
like
want to do, but you don't
clockwork,
want to
isn't it?
do? Yeah, yeah. So I thought, let's let's do a plan and make this happen. So 2014, I went over and did a counselling registration. It was like an 18-month journey of doing a counselling registration process to be a qualified counsellor. Um, so I went through that process. Went part-time as a public servant back in 2015, just to do some like voluntary work. So I was working with people in emergency relief.
So was this voluntary work more of to like acclimatize yourself to the industry to or to practice
Yes,
your skills?
both.
Okay.
Both. Because you engage with people you never normally would see day to day on the street. These people are really suffering. Like suffering when I'm saying they're broke. They've got
Mm.
they need support, they need food, they need shelter, they need that sort of thing. So they had at the local church a like a center. So the same people came in every week, got their food, need to have someone to talk to. So I gauged my skills in counselling skills. The church was able to go, "Hey, do you want to do this sort of work for us on a voluntary basis?" So I reduced my time at the public service, did a day doing that for a year. So I did
And that's
that.
that's what I like about it though. Like the whole process of you like transferring or transitioning, right, from being employed, being a public servant to creating that business. And I like how you explain how you went back to kind of practice that skill so you're not afraid of going back. But now that you're explaining is that transition of reducing that hours working, for somebody else in terms of building your business. So there is that balance there, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just can't go ahead and just get a business without researching what you're even doing because like even now, anywhere in the world, I think it's not just Australia, I think anywhere in the world, if you don't prepare to run a business, and you don't have the systems in place, then you'll die very quick.
Right. So with you, with getting that skill, right, in terms of the counseling thing, you took a skill, took that leap of faith with your wife. I'm assuming you got married before
Yeah,
or
well
yeah,
before that.
before. Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
yeah. So you took that leap of faith in terms of, having a secure job, even though it's boring, into, you know what, this is a possibility of what we can do. And because you're a numbers person, usually successful business are all about numbers, and we can talk about that in another episode. But
yep.
because you are in terms of the numbers, you see that potential of growth where there was something that was offered in Australia about the disability where you can support, like offer the support, but change it in a way that is not available in the industry to bring it up to another level. So with that transition to now reducing the hours working with somebody else, what's happened next for you guys?
So the business started in 2015, late 2015. So
So very quickly then with that transition
I think it was like
within,
about 12, 18 months, I would say, from that
yeah.
moment to that. So late 2015, your heart to heart started. We were known like as heart to heart counseling services, heart to heart counseling, then went to your heart to heart, just in that sort of like 10-year period.
So it started
So
as a counseling business before incorporating the disability side?
yes, we started like as just counseling in that sense. Before we sort of went into more like we're not just counseling. So we had to sort of change our name around because a customer will go, oh, heart to heart counseling. Oh, you're just a counseling service. So you have to sort of give that impression to the customer. You're not just doing counseling, you're doing other things as well.
Right. Okay. So I love how you pointed out about the changing the name thing. So a lot of business owners out there tend to be stuck with, we got to get the right name before we start promoting it. So with
Correct.
you, you got to change it. And for me, myself, like I didn't have solopreneur to entrepreneur like very quickly. Like I had to change it like three times, which means I bought like three different domains and I had three different designs for each brand and each name. Like for you,
Yep.
how easy for you was it to change your business name to suit whatever you're trying to offer?
Um, it's not straightforward, because there's so much behind the scenes that you have to do. Like you have to change your domain names, you have to change all the company registration details. Then you have to sort of tell your current customers of what the
Right.
change
But
is.
the decision in terms of changing that name, I'm assuming that it was a quick decision according to the feedback you got from people out there.
Correct. Yep.
Great. Yeah, the process, all the legality of things, that's going to take time, but that didn't stop you of changing it to suit the clientele out there where the moment they see your name is that where they can resonate with what you have to offer, isn't it?
Yep. Exactly right.
So, disability, how did you bring that in on top of it after changing it and deciding to change from a counseling service to what it is today?
Well, a lot of the part of the disability is also counselling related as well. So they've
Right.
the NDIS has like all sorts of different supports that someone with disability can have in their plan of what they need, and counselling is one of many supports that is offered under that scheme.
Great. And you've made that work for yourself. Was there any doubt or fear that came to play with you, when you started this business?
I didn't really think about the fear, to be honest with you. I had some pretty bad health issues towards the end of my public service career, and the doctors were saying to me I had to make a massive changes. I was very close to a massive heart attack. So I had to sort of either put up with what I'm doing or make a big change. So I made that change. Didn't think of what the worst thing that could happen. I was just like, no, I'm going ahead, bang, just
So you picked a
all in,
lane. You're
all in.
like, this is where I need to go, and that was where you're gonna head towards to whatever happens, you're gonna figure it out along the way.
Correct. That's my
Gr-
mindset at that time.
Right. So you were very focused in terms of you were told that, this is the situation, but you picked the lane and you were like, okay, no matter what's going to happen, I'm going to hit towards that success, no matter what
Correct.
kind of challenge that you have. Now, what is the biggest challenge with you starting with this business? Like, I'm sure there's plenty of challenges out there as,
Oh yeah.
business owners, there's plenty. And the bigger you are, the bigger the problem is, then the bigger the challenges are. What is the
hmm
biggest challenge for you in this growth towards where you are right now?
Governments is a massive threat. Um, the decisions they make can impact what you do. So I look at a journey like, okay, I'm in the so we're in the start of the business now. So 20 start of 2016. I go back late 2015 when the business first started. I got really excited when the first customer came along. It was like, and I'm still working the public service. Kerry's working in the business at the time. And the first customer coming, oh, you little beauty. I was in my seat in the office like, you beauty, I got the first customer. And I was really, really excited. And I was sort of like really getting excited because I actually resigned from the public service in early 2016. And then so things were going really, really well. We are getting more and more customers were coming in left, right, and center. We just had the phone available. The National Disability Insurance Agency people in the office rang you, go, hey, you got capacity to work with this client? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Send the details across. So they just keep churning, churning, churning. So and then as part of the scheme, they had these roles called local area coordinators. So with a local area coordinator, these are people they support like 85% of people with disability to actually get on the scheme. And they're actually employed at the time at the National Disability Insurance Agency office. So had so they were just churning the referrals
So
away.
I
Local,
gotta ask this
yeah,
though, because as a new business owner back in the day, right? So and all of us have the same problem. When
yep,
you got your first, you mentioned when you got your first client, you were so excited, and that's all of us. Like when we get our first sale, it's like yes, we're headed towards
yep.
the right direction. Was there in a time or a place where you felt like giving up?
Oh, many times, many times. I was just going to come into that story. So this is around mid 2017. Um, Kerry does a home visit with one of our regular clients, and this random lady was there. Didn't know who she was, and she said to Kerry, "I'm actually here to take your client off you." And Kerry told me the story. He's like, "What? What's going on?" So the client didn't have any say in this sort of thing. She was loving working with us, but she
Mm,
said, "I'm taking your client off you." And she said a number of a number of us will be taking your clients off you. So this would be 2017. 75% of our business just boom, gone
right,
because the local area coordinators have come back into play and they've taken a lot of our consultancy role off us.
right. So
So so
how did you manage that stress?
so at the time it was very we actually did a business trip over in the UK at that time. We were learning more about deaf blind people with disabilities that have deaf blindness. And
Mm.
it was really, really stressful. And we had to make a decision. We were in Newcastle at the time, so we weren't anywhere else but Newcastle, mid North Coast, New South Wales, down to the Sydney Central Coast border. That was our range. And we had to make a decision. Do we be a big fish in a little pond doing support work, or do we make the trip and go to Melbourne or Sydney, where it's not at the time the National Disability Insurance Scheme wasn't really doing a lot of work in those areas because Newcastle's trial site, one of three area or four areas in Australia that start all this journey. And with Melbourne at the time, very innovative, that sort of thing, accessible. Let's travel to Melbourne. So we sold our house. We still even today do business in Newcastle from the days of 2015.
You
We
took a
moved
gamble. You
everything
sold your
to Melbourne.
house.
Yep, sold our house. Yep,
Wow.
and moved to Melbourne. And that was a new world because pretty much from where we were at 2016 and learning the business, they're at that stage in 2017, 2018 at that same level. All new clients coming through. The scheme is building at that time. So that was a stressful period of just having to. take the leap of faith of going to another state.
Mm. Yes, I completely can resonate with that, considering this is my second migration.
Yeah, you're going to another end of the
I
world.
know.
Yeah.
Different currency here. So I can
Yeah.
completely resonate there. But like with this whole journey of advancement, right? And is raising your standards. I'm gonna say we kind of joined our coach about the same time, right? And then
Yeah.
in regards to growth, like you've grown, exponentially high, and I tip my hat off to you in regards to even
Thank
being
you.
visible and talking to people. Like I saw you as a person that wasn't comfortable being around with so many people to someone that is, receiving awards and talking on this podcast and being asked for interviews. What was that thought process on your journey? Why did you guys decide, you know what? I think we're gonna take a coach and see where this brings us.
Actually, at the very beginning of the journey, I actually had a business coach. At the time, have first 18 months of business, I had a business coach. They did an amazing job at that very beginning stage of getting your vision, values, mission statement, that sort of thing in your
Okay,
logo.
so I gotta ask this. Why did you get a business coach at the very beginning when you started your business?
Um, in the public service, these guys actually were doing a demonstration. They were getting work from the government, so they were actually showing people of um of how to be in leadership roles and that sort of thing. And they actually did business coaching. So I pulled them aside one day at the public service, and I said, "What's your capacity doing of as a business coach? Because I'm actually leading this place. And I'd love to come and join in with you guys." And I said, oh, wow. Because obviously, not many people leave the public service. That's just not what you do in Australia.
Right, or
Um,
anywhere at all. But
yeah, exactly.
like when people sign up with me as a business coach, like I always ask, like, what pushes you off that edge to making that decision? You know what? I want a business coach and I want you. So with you and your wife, like what gave the idea, or what made you go, you know what? I'm going to work with a business coach to start from the very beginning of the business.
Um, well,
Did you
I,
like
I
did you want the structure? Did you just want to head towards that destination? Did you have that trust of, you know what? I want to do this the right way. Was that
it was
what
doing it
was
the
thought?
right way, and you can't do everything on your own because I I had no business experience or anything like that. I did a business diploma through college, and learned skills along the way. I did an accountancy registration, so all these skills,
But all
and
you learn
also
in all whatever we learn in the piece of paper doesn't usually resonate in real life, isn't it?
right, absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's why you need a coach because they're higher than you, they've been through it before, and that sort of thing. So with those other coaches, I only had with them for 18 months. I probably had them too long because where they're at, and I love them to death, they're lovely people. But I had to break up with them because they weren't really bringing enough value to the business. The business was that high at the time. I needed someone higher. So not many people know this story. So I actually met JT Fox, the world's number one business coach in 2018. And I just moved from Newcastle at the time to Melbourne, and I saw that, as we all do, who knows JT, we all see the social media and that sort of thing. And I need to sort of, actually, sorry, I'll rewind. It was Robert Kiyosaki. I heard of Robert Kiyosaki, and I wanted to go see his event. And then this guy comes on stage, whose name is JT Fox. No BS, get it done, that sort
Straight to
of
the
thing. And
point. Yeah.
that energy is like, oh, I really love this energy. Someone who tells you as it is. So I
Mm.
signed up for his 2 day workshop at the time. And I'm just a country boy. So I've just moved to Melbourne at that time. Go to the 2 day event. All these people and businesses are like, geez, I feel out of place here. I'm not used to wearing a business suit. And then these people are around, in suits, and I'm intimidated. Every single person in that room, I'm intimidated by. So I didn't go any further than that. I got it, his Millionaire Underdog book, got it signed.
Mm.
5 years down the track came about, early 2023. I don't know. JT was in my mind. I haven't seen the guy for 5 years, but he's in my mind. And it's like, if when you have feelings, you sort of got to act on the feelings that you have, the instincts. So I saw more social, like the social media stuff that he was still doing what he was doing. And I thought, nah, I'm going back to JT. So I went back to JT, um, did the 2 day thing, and just elevated from there. And I think the best business decision I ever made was being aligned with JT. Only, I suppose, wish I probably did it 5 years before, but I don't think at the time of the business was really ready to go to the heights of JT on a global perspective.
I don't think you were ready then.
No,
Because
definitely
I
not.
like I also met JT like right after COVID. And for me, like understanding what I know now, like I think I had to have time to condition myself before meeting JT to be able to accept him to help me. Like for
Yep,
me, I wouldn't have been ready 10 years ago, like mentally prepared to receive the directness that he has in
yep,
terms of having it done for us. So I think it happened at the time that it had with me. So,
yep.
and it's been great help as I can see that it's been great help for yourself as well. So, things
Hmm.
happen at the time that you need to, but because you just moved, maybe there was a lot to handle at that particular time where you needed to prepare yourself to be ready with JT like 5 years down the track. But
Exactly, exactly.
let's look at this way, right? Because at the moment you were traveling with him within Australia and you took that opportunity. So tell us about that because there's some people out there they're like, they don't see opportunity that comes their way and they always, there's some people that turn down opportunity that see. So why tell us about that experience since you're like this is the second city or the third city?
Oh, on this current trip I'm doing now.
Yes.
So this is it's the second city, but the second city I'm doing twice. So I'm actually seeing him today. He's gonna turn the AI world upside down, and I'm very excited for him and what he's achieving in that space. So he's doing a workshop today on AI.
Yeah.
And
But
he's
I like what you told me though, because you said that you and your wife had a trip planned already, and then this opportunity
yeah.
fell to your lap. So tell us about that. Like, what was the thought
Okay.
process? Like, tell me what you told me before we jumped on this call.
Yeah. So I originally seen Adam Coffey, who's a high $2.5 billion exit in business. He's doing a tour of Australia and Sydney. So I had my trip planned to go to Sydney on the Friday to see Adam Coffey for the Monday and have a weekend away with my wife, which I haven't had a weekend for so long because business is everything at the moment.
Right.
So JT calls me up Thursday and go, "Hey, Greg, when are you available to go to Brisbane on Saturday and Melbourne on Wednesday?" And I said, "Hey JT, I'm already actually going to be in Sydney on Saturday, ready for Adam Coffee, and I'm going up to Brisbane on the Wednesday to get ready for the AI thing." And I said to my wife, "You don't say no to JT. If JT gives you the opportunity to be on stage, you don't say no." So I said, "Hey JT, I'm actually rescheduling my flights. I'm gonna going to Sydney now on Sunday, and I'm going to go see you on Saturday." He said, "Thanks, great,
Mm.
fantastic." So I was on stage at a Success Resources event with people, about 400 people in the crowd, and he was just telling everyone about my success with him of what he's done for me in that sense of
So, any regrets there with taking this?
no, not at all, not at all.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's seeing opportunity and taking it at place because you never know where that brings you, and whether or not it's there's only one way, one direction to go. But like, let's look at your relationship with your wife, right? Like, both of you are on the same page in regards to where you guys want to bring the business, but
Yep,
also in terms of any opportunity out there. How is your relationship with your wife, and how do you balance the relationship with your wife and the business?
that is very tough. Love my wife to death, as we all know. Um, she's got her side of the business she does. I do my side of the thing. So my side is more around that JT business side. She's more around the customer service side. But she's very, very supportive of me, which I'm very grateful for. I've been on the JT side. She's also in JT too.
Mm.
But at this stage of the business, she needs a lot more of the customer side of it, make sure the staff's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Um, and then when
She's the
things
heart of the inside, and you're the heart on the outside.
exactly. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, because it's heart to heart, isn't it? So she's the heart on the inside, but you're the heart on the outside, connecting everyone to come in and making that connection for people to feel the contentment of being inside of your heart to heart business.
Yeah, I like that. I like the way you said that. That's good.
You can steal it and
Okay.
use it. Yeah, no, I like that. And I think for both of you, it's both of you are on the same page in terms of where you want to
Yep,
bring this in terms of relationship, but also in business. And I'm assuming that both of you are open in communication in regards to the business as well.
absolutely. We're very open, communicative. Yep, yep,
How
yep.
important is communication for you?
It's everything. If we all have to, even in marriage, in business, open communication is very important. If you're not open in communication, then things can go pear-shaped.
Mm.
I'm just more talking about the business side of it. If your partners in business are not open, you could find yourself down a hole before you even know it.
But it's very hard to bring a business into the direction that you want, isn't it? For towards
Mm,
success if both people
yep,
are not on the same page. But let's look at
correct.
it like on another way with you being an entrepreneur and in business. Is what kind of do you have a routine that you have on a daily basis that you can share with us? Like let's say your morning routine. What's your daily routine? What's your morning routine that gets you pumped up to wake up every morning?
Uh, I think it's just the fire of what you can do to change lives. So I get up in the morning, probably 5:30, 6 o'clock, sometimes around 5. When I should be doing this more often. I should be exercising first thing I get out of the bed rather than get on the computer first thing in the morning, after breakfast. But the morning routine is obviously you check your email, see what's going on, make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to be going. Customers are getting the supports they need. I do a lot of the business and finance side of it, so I do the invoicing myself. I did hear Donald Trump a long time ago says he looks at every single transaction that comes into his business in
Oh,
that
you
sort of
have to.
big ones.
You have
Yep.
to. Like, in order to be able to bring the business to the next level, I always tell, business owners, like, you have to know your numbers. You have to know
Hmm.
the revenue, you need to know the profit because there's no way you can bring your business to the next level if you don't understand the figures itself.
Correct. Yep.
So,
So,
yeah, tell
go
us,
on.
tell us.
Yep. I do everything of your heart to heart with the numbers. So I'm always on my accounting software, looking at what's going on with the business side of it. Invoices going in, invoices coming back out. I suppose payments coming back out, I should say.
Mm,
Um, yeah, and then obviously trying to bring in more programs. One thing JT says is that you have to work on the 1%, and that's one thing he's really resonated with me of being on that 1%. And these AI brain that he's come out that he has at the moment has just been a game changer. Like you put everything through the brain of
mm.
anything to do with business. You just keep. I use it every day. Like, what would you do in this scenario? And he just
But
goes
you're
X, Y,
also
Z.
but you're also backtracking it to confirm that the information and the decision
Correct.
making is right. So everybody keeps
Absolutely.
saying that, AI is going to replace everything. And yes, but both of you and I know that it does not have the heart of a person to be able to
No.
serve the community. So AI is amazing. It's more of how do we make it and take it to an advantage towards the business that we run. It's not more of the fear of AI, but it's more of using it to our advantage of leveling up our business.
Exactly. Exactly. That's part of it.
Absolutely. So, as a business owner, what advice would you give business owners out there contemplating whether or not they should continue on their business or whether or not they should start their own business, being that you were used to be a public servant?
If you have a passion for what you do, you go for it. But you have to, you got to do a lot of research. You got to learn the numbers, look at the margins. One thing Adam Coffey shared in the last few days in his 2-day conference in Australia is the 30-20-10 rule.
Mm.
You have to make sure what you're doing in business, you're making at least 30% gross profit. If you're not making 30% gross profit of what you do, you're wasting your time running a business in that sense and for it to scale.
Mm. Okay, so next question is how important is a business coach to you?
everything, everything. Um, Especially with JT, which is the highest of the high, having someone that high, who's been through everything from very grassroots right up to the top of the world, learning from someone like that, as you elevate in business, is invaluable.
Absolutely. Well, any last words here? Any questions that I haven't touched base that you wanted to share?
Um, yeah, well, I have to be very grateful for what JT's done to help to get all these awards. So having an award and a global perspective, not just an Australian perspective of being in the disability related field, being excellent around the world, like praised around the world, as well as our social enterprise movement. I just recently was in London 5 weeks ago and received an award there for that. That was amazing, and a lot of it to do with JT, his assistants to get us from 2018 when I first met him, where he didn't recognize who I was 5 years later.
Right.
It was funny. I did a podcast with him, and I showed him the book and his book, Millionaire Underdog, and his signature. And he goes, "How the hell did you get that book? That's first edition." And I
Yeah.
showed him, and I think he just shook his head.
Right. No, he is amazing, And both you and I have placed ourselves in a very uncomfortable situation. So let's talk about uncomfortableness, right?
Yeah,
As our closing. So I'm assuming that you were very uncomfortable in terms of the growth that you have developed, but you still went ahead with it.
yeah,
What's
absolutely.
what's your thought process in the uncomfortableness that you have? And I'll tell you mine.
Okay. Um, Being uncomfortable is like, I don't think it'll like these terms, but it was almost like being naked in a room with everyone around you. I suppose you could say it like that. It's oh, it's daunting. Being uncomfortable is daunting, but for you to succeed, you have to feel uncomfortable.
So would you do it any other way?
Looking back, no, no.
Okay, so for me, I used to be an extreme introvert and a stutterer. So people may not know this because of how much I talk right now. But for me, back in the day, like as extreme introvert and stutterer, and also as a background as a musician and in the entertaining industry, I was always placed on stage, but always had stage fright. So for me, it was you got to do it, and you just step forward at the stage and not back down. Just do it. Don't
Yep,
let that take over the fear. It's more of right now, like the drive is putting myself in uncomfortable situations. And some people are like, oh, like migrating countries. It's like, yeah,
yeah,
like migrating countries. It's always put yourself in a comfortable situation for growth. Because as
yep,
you said, right, that's the only way of growing is doing things that you are not familiar with, but you familiarize yourself and continuously um, familiarize yourself where you're comfortable being uncomfortable towards the success that you achieve.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
No, not at all. Always pleasure. Well, Greg, thank you for coming on and sharing us with sharing with us all your experience, especially not only in the business sense, but in terms of the disability and the counseling, part of the business and the heart that you have in the business towards sharing it with everyone, not only in Australia, but I think you created an impact globally, and there's more to come towards what you have in business. But if anyone out there is interested to know more about what Greg has to offer, be it whether or not you're listening or tuning in from Australia or any parts of the world, by all means, I shall put the description and the links of his social media links and his website on the description. And by all means, you're more than welcome to reach out to Greg in terms of what they can do for you or any loved ones out there who may need his service. So, Greg, again, thank you for tuning in at this
Thank
really early
you.
morning where you are at the moment. And I truly appreciate you. But guys, if you like this episode, please do like, share it with people out there because you never know, somebody out there may have inspiration to either starting a business or getting help from Greg and his company out there. But other than that, thanks, guys. And remember, the Solo to Entrepreneur Show with me, Lorraine Chai, as the host. And until next time, I shall catch you later.